Hello, baby.
I was crazy once.
I'm thinking of a number.
3, 2, 1. Mental clap.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you have STDs in your head, actually.
Oh, mental
no.
clap. That's
Mental
cool.
clap. I got the mental. I got the mental clap.
That sounds pretty bad. You have to clap
is.
your brain to get fluids out of it. They have to pull it out and go beep.
Yep,
That
my
is
brain
It beeps
fluids.
too.
Yeah, you got. Is that what a robot do? Do robots get STDs?
That's a book. Have you
Yeah,
read
that's a
that?
book.
Do robots?
Yeah, Philip K. Dick. Yeah, Philip K.
Hey.
Dick's lesser known.
Philip K.
I'm
Philip
sorry.
K. Dirty
Oh,
Dick.
no.
That's right.
Philip K. Infected Dick.
Oh God.
Gross.
Spotted dick. British people,
Disgusting.
man.
Yeah.
Here it comes
Man,
in a
I
can.
watched Evil Dead Rise the other day because
you're
I wanted
telling
to watch
me.
the Evil Dead movie.
Yeah.
And that's the only one streaming. This is actually the first one I've seen, and I watched what's considered to be like, I guess, the worst.
The worst
of the
one?
series.
Okay.
But,
yeah.
Nasty ass movie, dude. That's what I gotta say. It's so fucking gross. It's so nasty.
But was it sexy?
No, not at all.
Okay.
It was literally the opposite of sexy.
Okay. It was like the penis goes inside. 'Cause
Yes,
It's so disgusting.
it retracted.
Okay. That's. What was the most, without any spoilers, what was the most disgusting thing about it?
Someone eats glass.
Oh God. That is
Yeah.
pretty bad. I thought, I kind of thought you were joking for a second.
No,
This is-
it's like really nasty, dude.
This is the first step. This is the first 10 minutes. Anything can kind of go.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
jump around, we say whatever the hell we want, and no one could even cancel us.
That guy in the car even like agreed with you.
Yeah,
you know?
he was out there. We
He's-
have our fans.
He's hot.
You guys don't see this because we don't have video, but there are like
Yeah.
people outside of all of our homes with signs, like they like on Good
Oh, like
Morning
this is-
America or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? Yeah,
At
what
the
are they
windows.
saying?
They
What
say,
what is that guy
"Go
saying?
team,"
Okay. Yeah.
because he thinks this is a sport.
Menswear is a sport. There's a whole thing. It's like menswear is a blood sport. I mean,
Yeah.
and that's not true. We're so anti sport.
And I don't even have blood.
And
So
we're
it
not
can't be a blood
kickboxers.
sport.
And we're yeah. Wait, well, hold on, Spencer. You said you don't have any blood.
Yeah, I'm an android. I have
Okay.
milk in my veins, like an alien.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would be kind of fun to get Conor McGregor on for one episode, just to
To get
Yeah,
an
and
alien.
because of
with
course we
milk.
could do that. Like it's super easy to do that.
Yeah,
so,
Jimmy Fallon got him to do that.
Yeah, and
That's-
we have the same like booking guy as Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah.
People also,
Yeah.
we just don't use him.
People don't know this, but like every guest that's been on Jimmy Fallon has also been on this show.
And we just have it in the
We're-
vault.
That's right.
We're like Prince.
Yeah, there's just the unreleased tapes,
Uh-huh.
and it's just there's us talking to. I'm trying to think of other people that Jimmy Fallon has talked to.
I mean, he talks to everybody. He's America's pal. Because of course I don't know who's promoting a movie right now.
That's we're like Smartless. Are we like Smartless?
Yeah, we're exactly like Smartless.
I feel like we would be like. I feel like and we've had guests on. I feel like we would talk over them, and then we would not let them say anything, and we would just talk about ourselves the whole
Yeah.
time.
We probably is that what happens on Smart? I've listened to like a little
Well-
bit of it because my stepmom says that I would really like it.
I think we've
haven't
talked about
listened
this
to it.
before. I think it's fine. Like this is not a journalism thing, I'm not here to talk about, or I'm not expecting Jason Bateman to like talk about anything that's too deep. I feel like
Sure.
it's just you're here to hear them riff with each other,
Yeah,
You
it's
know?
about the chemistry between the people.
and they're not, and they're smartless, Yeah, those guys aren't smart. I don't know. I can't think of anything.
We can talk about us being smart. I mean, we've just been jumping around. This has
We've
been a
been
crazy
jumping.
ADHD
Jack. yeah.
ass like intro, man.
But that's every
That's
intro,
true.
Well, I have been jumping in one particular place. There we go. Do you like that segue?
Oh, there we go. But we need to say the jumping thing. Or are you just gonna say, I've been jumping around one
You
place?
know,
That would be
I
kind of funny to
assume.
say as a non sequitur.
That is. What's your favorite non sequitur?
That's also a good question.
I've been jumping around in one place. Actually, I jumped from LAX to Narita Airport.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was 5,000. Is it 5,000 miles?
Superman style. I don't know.
Can Superman wait?
So,
That
well,
sounds like
originally he couldn't fly. He could leap very
Big jumps.
far.
that's right. How
I th-
far is Japan from California? How
Probably
many
pretty
miles?
far.
5,000 miles.
Yeah.
553 5,300 1176.
That's
Wait,
a
hold on.
number. That's a
That's the
hella
wrong way of
number.
saying that. Five thousand three
Big
hundred
numbers.
11.76 miles.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys would I don't know if it's a hot take, you guys would love Japan. I'm just
Everybody
Yeah.
would love Japan, man. Japan is the
Everyone-
country for everybody. That's what they say.
That's who says
Yeah.
that?
The Japan Tourism Board.
I see. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, it's true. Everyone is kind of going to Japan. Like it's kind of like the popular place to go. I mean, there's obviously a lot of
Yeah.
reasons why.
I mean,
and
it's been right.
That's true. That's true.
It's like no, I mean literally, it is like a very beautiful country. But yeah, of course, it has the menswear stuff. It has like if you're into tech or video games or whatever, like whatever hobby you're into, even if it's just like history or art, which believe it or not, some people
They-
are into those things.
Yeah, and they've got
Japan has it for
plenty.
you.
They
Yeah.
got plenty of history and art for you to enjoy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it is kind of there's a lot of tourists, I will say. We'll kind of get into some of that in a second here, but you can really tell. Like, I mean, we're in this era, right? It's like peak Japan. Everyone's going to
Peak
Japan.
Japan. People are Japan maxing.
I mean, what's really funny is so I didn't really have a lot of time to scroll like on my phone because I'm on vacation, which is
Uh-huh.
funny because you would assume that this is whenever I'm on vacation, I am like doing everything. I'm like out. I'm like I wake up like at 8. It's like a day. It's like a day job or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like you wake up, you're out doing things, you come back like at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm not really scrolling. Like I'm not really like on TikTok or whatever or on my explore page scrolling on this thing. I'm not really checking Reddit, and I'm also like not a big like on the train I get overstimulated, so like I can't actually scroll either because I'm like I'm too scared of missing. Also, you're in a foreign country, you don't want to miss your
Yeah,
Miss your
exactly.
stop
You
or
gotta
whatever.
you gotta be present.
Yes, exactly. So okay, so all that to say I'm not really on social media or I'm posting, I'm not like scrolling. But when I did scroll on TikTok, all of it was Japan stuff. And I'm not even
Wow.
talking about like local. I'm talking about like it's like they must have the craziest targeted ads because everything or the algorithm because it's all like if you're in Japan, check this out. And
I mean,
it's
I get
from
every time I travel, like for Facebook used to do this. Whenever I would travel, like when I went to London, my Facebook targeted ads were all about like tourist shit in London. It was crazy.
But it's not even just like tourist. I mean, it is tourist shit. It's not targeted ads. It's like because TikTok is so regular,
Mhm.
Like I was getting people's vlogs in Japan. I was getting like TikToks made by people who like promote Japan, both like in America and like people in Japan making content about what you should do in Japan, like travel. Basically, it's travel vloggers and travel accounts.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that was like all of I was not getting anything funny. I wasn't getting some random ass ferret video. I wasn't getting
Do you often get
typical
random ferret videos?
Absolutely I do. Absolutely I do. But yeah, it was kind of funny that like everything that I was scrolling about was like here is like what you should do in Japan.
Oh, this is actually kind of funny because right now Instagram thinks that I am in Italy. Because for some reason all the suggested reels are like, here's what to do in Italy, and it's just like different cities. They're just kind of throwing spaghetti at the wall, Italian style.
Italian style,
Yeah, to see what sticks.
I mean, what was also really funny, this is so ADHD, I don't know what the difference is. I'm not a
I don't think-
doctor.
Yeah,
I ain't no doctor.
I am not a doctor.
Yeah, tell that to
Dr. Phil.
well, I was gonna say tell that to on the Starship Enterprise actually.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Because he is
a doctor.
He is a doctor.
yeah, he's not
He's just a
whatever
doctor,
else.
yeah.
Yeah, he's
Anything
not
else you want him to be, he's not.
God damn it, Jim.
Mhm.
No, it was pity during when I was in Japan. And
Wow.
we're not gonna talk about pity at all because I did not consume much content from that anyway. But
Yeah.
while I was in Japan, everyone was in Firenze, Florence. Everyone was wearing their cream suits. There's a lot of color coordination, I think, that I
Mm.
saw. I think all of the
Yeah.
Alfargo's guys and a bunch of other menswear personalities and influencers also wore a lot of cream suits all together. It took like a big group picture. I Here's my hot take on that. How about don't? I feel like coordination, that's fine, but I want variety. I want to see what you want to wear. I mean, I guess
Yeah.
they wanted to do that, but it was like I would not make us have if we went to Pity, I would not make us have a uniform. I would want us
Hmm.
to wear whatever we wanted to wear to Pity and just enjoy.
Maybe if it's like a thing of you go every year, at a certain point you're like, I need to.
You got to change it up. You got to wear
Yeah,
something,
because I
make it
could
fun.
also. I
That's true.
mean,
Okay, all right, all
it's
right.
like sometimes fun. We've talked about this. It's like fun
Yeah.
sometimes if you do something frequently to kind of I don't know, instill some structure to it. Maybe just like I don't know, just to get the creative
And
juices
I
flowing.
guess they did it one day.
Hmm.
And Pity is like 3 days. I don't know. I'm never going to Pity. I don't. I'd rather have a vacation in Florence. The guys, let's just go to Florence. We don't have
The
to go
real
to
answer.
Pity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
Yeah.
it's also like apart from that, there's just other vacation things to do. So I think time management kind of like will kick your ass if it's just for that, right?
Yeah. I do. I guess to that point too. If you've already been to Florence for like with your family, you might as. I guess you could go to Pity. Like, why not? Like, you don't have to like go to the Uffizi Gallery if you've already been there. David's not gonna change while he's out there. He's still gonna
That would
have
be cool
his
if they did do, like Disneyland, how they switch out the haunted
right,
mansion.
right,
Like they should
or
do
yeah,
that.
yeah,
They
They give
should.
him an update.
Yeah,
yeah.
like maybe you go during Christmas time and he's Jack Skellington.
That's you walk into that wing or whatever, and it's just
It's
Jack
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 Skellington.
Skellington
Skellington,
in
yeah.
there,
It's the
and you
same
got
pose. It's just
and
Jack
people are looking
Skellington.
at his
And he's got his
ass.
little shriveled ass bony dick.
That's right. Well,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I was gonna say he has a fig leaf. He famously doesn't have a fig
No,
leaf, I think.
he's got a little dicky.
And he's like, how, I don't know if I said this before because you guys should listen to the Ethan in Italy episode, but like, David is like made in perspective, right? Like, like his
Hmm.
head is smaller than the rest, like it because it like goes up because it's meant to be viewed that way. And originally it was like on top of a building, which I think is insane. I don't know how they
That
did
is
that.
crazy.
Yeah, but then they brought it down, I think, after a couple of years or something like that. And now we can see it, and you can really tell that he is like he tapers or whatever
Hmm.
because that's just the whole forced perspective thing. But we're not talking about Italy, guys.
No, we're
Come
talking
on,
about
man.
another
This is
country.
Yeah, we're talking about a totally different participant here. Um, this is yeah, we're nodding. We're talking about Japan. And I recently went. By the way, this is Style Direction, the mentor podcast about the stuffiness. Believe it or not. And I'm Ethan here.
And I'm Spencer. Did we not do that part?
Nope, we did
Okay.
not do that. Yeah.
I'm
No.
Spencer.
And I'm MJ.
That's right, and we're talking about menswear, and this trip was quite a menswear trip. I feel like I spent the most money I've ever had in my life
Wow.
during
Yeah.
this trip. Actually, I mean that's any vacation. Like you're eating out every day, you're
Yeah,
taking
vacations are
Ubers, you're
expensive,
whatever.
man.
But also, like we said before, everyone's going to Japan, and Japan offers you a lot to do, a lot to buy, and that's what makes it great. And so I bought everything I could. I mean, I literally I bought so much stuff, and I've been to Japan before. You guys can listen to my episode or our episode back in 2019,
Damn.
pre-pandemic.
Pre-pandemic.
Yeah,
Was
pre-demi.
that the last time you went?
Yes,
Wow.
2019.
Okay. Yeah.
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 You guys can probably listen to that. It's kind of fun if you guys are bored, and you can listen to how that was and compare. But we'll also kind of talk about the things I noticed and the differences this time around.
Yeah.
But yeah, this, unlike that last time, I was not there with family. This is my
Mhm.
first really ever trip with friends. I guess Spencer, you and I went to New York and San Francisco before,
Mhm.
so I guess not not too
But
far off, but
maybe first international trip with friends.
definitely first international trip. I mean, have you guys? Well, Spencer, you've been to
I've been to
yeah, the
London. That was the
London.
last
That's
time I
right.
traveled internationally. I don't travel as much as I'd like to because I
Yeah.
am afraid of debt and I don't make that much money. But last time I went international was London. But it is fun to travel.
Yeah, MJ, when's the last time you were international?
I
Austin
wasn't.
Powers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, wait, we just passed the 10-year mark of my trip to London, and I know this because we
Fisher
arrived
told
in
you?
London the day
Okay.
after Brexit. And so I just saw a bunch of people do it's been 10 years of Brexit or whatever. So I'm like, oh, it's been 10 years since my trip. That was actually
Wow.
great for us because maybe the pound has gotten like sunk lower, but it was like the best exchange rate for Americans in decades, people were telling me. So
Well, yeah, the exchange rate for the yen was also pretty good. It was crazy because, like, usually you kind of just move the decimal over. Like 1,000 yen is like $10 or something like that. But
Yeah.
now, like 1,000 yen was like $7.
damn, okay.
Yeah.
And so here's what's crazy: going to Kura Revolving Sushi, which, by the way, in Japan is still 150 yen. You're telling me each plate is like slightly less than $1, or
That's
maybe like
crazy,
$1.
dude.
Like
I would
that's
fucking eat them like everything. That's
yeah,
crazy.
you're just doing this.
You just keep ordering off the iPad.
Meanwhile, exactly. Meanwhile, in LA, it's $5 a plate.
Yeah.
Like that's
It
insane. Like magazines like in LA are like $20 over there. It's again back to being like $10. Which is insane.
That is crazy because it's like I don't know. I've always heard that Japan is a very expensive country. So
I guess maybe salaries are
Yeah.
like scaled accordingly. Like even the guys I was talking to there, they were like, yeah, I would love to like stay in Japan but have an LA salary. And I'm like, hell yeah, you would. Like that's crazy.
That's the dream.
But yeah, this was a like a 12-day trip. I was gone, I think like June 12th to the 25th, or that's the days I took off from work. I guess I did take an extra day off because I knew I was going to be jet lagged, and I am. But because I think previously, or like in previous stuff, I would kind of go to work the next day. And it's one of those things where like, yeah, you can wake up on time, but you might be falling asleep during the day. And so this time I actually took a day off just to help my body reset.
I feel like you got to have at least one day off after international travel.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What's
or
funny
time it
is,
with the weekend, right?
Exactly. I mean, like what's really funny is that there's usually, because I usually travel in summertime, there's always some big blockbuster movie, some big movie that comes out and that I watch. I think like Dune or something in 2019 was the case. And I like fell asleep during some of it because I was jet lagged, And so this time I haven't watched the movie yet. I know there's like Supergirl's out. I heard it's unfortunately not
I've heard
good.
it's not amazing.
But I heard she's great. I heard Millie Alcock.
Yeah, Millie Alcock is supposed to be good.
Yeah.
But I've heard the movie's a mess. Then what, Toy Story?
I heard that's actually good.
Yeah,
which is crazy. I
saw someone say that it was just like the same plot as Inside Out 2, which
a realistic panic attacks. We're back.
Realistic. I hope so. I hope toys have realistic panic attacks. What's the movie? There's a movie that came out like right before you left that I was waiting to see because my girlfriend was also on a trip, and she's now back. But what is that movie?
Eminem.
Yeah, it's the Eminem movie that they had in the Turn Off Your Cell Phones. They finally released that.
The one where it's like they're strapped to some like bomb or rocket thing,
And then the phone goes off, and he's like, "I can't work in these conditions." Whatever.
Is that your Billy West impression? Because it's Billy West.
Hey, I'm
right?
Billy West.
Hey, I am Billy. Yeah, he has like that kind of his nasally voice.
So there's Billy West, but you were in the East.
That's
Disclosure
right.
Day is the movie I'm talking about.
Yeah, that movie is not good actually.
Ah, damn! I'm excited to see it still, but then it makes
I'm curious your guys' take on it. Anyway, yeah. So first international trip. It was really fun. Me, James, Claire, Sirhan, and originally a lot more people were set to go, but unfortunately, as most friend group trips, some people did not make it out of the group chat. No. Unfortunately, but we had some. They
got trapped in the group chat.
Shit. Yeah, that's the scariest premise.
The group chat.
You trapped in the group chat.
How is that like unfriended?
Yeah, there you get
We
sucked
keep
into the
referencing
phone.
this.
We keep
Yeah.
referencing Unfriended.
Never seen it. But so we had Bristol join, and Jimmy, who is James's high school friend. So it was a lot of fun, and some people obviously can be very apprehensive about traveling with friends. Sometimes friendships die on trips, especially international ones. But I'm happy to report that no such things happened. Everyone was super chill.
Oh, that's
I
good.
think that, obviously for me and Sirhan and James, this is not our first time in Japan. James is also has family over there, so that was
Mm.
a part of his trip. We did not go there with his family. um but I think we were all pretty much very very easygoing.
Mm.
I again, me, Sirhan, had been there with our families beforehand, and so we've like a lot of the cultural stuff, like we're pretty like, okay, we're good. Like, we didn't have to do every single museum, every single cultural thing, because we had done that previously, although again, because some of them hadn't, we were
Mm.
fine to go again, but like we were kind of like less high stakes. So this trip was a lot of tourist stuff, a lot of hanging out, and in between then, Ethan going to any thrift store or vintage store or secondhand
Yeah.
store he could find at any kind of like menswear store.
So,
I don't
so
Yeah.
think
we're
any, yeah, I don't think any vintage Japanese people are listening to this, because I feel like we talk really fast and it might be hard to like catch all the stuff. I'm sure reading the blog will be much easier for people. But if any Japanese fans or friends were like, how come you didn't hit me up? It's because I had a very loose schedule and I did not want to commit to anything and then be like, oh, I can't. I hate to cancel. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, and I don't want to also make people wait. So I did not, before people ask, because I know people are asking, I did not get to see Taylor Cade this time
Mhm.
around. That was kind of a sad part of it. I could have, I talked to a friend and he said like, yeah, Taylor Cade was super busy. um and I didn't want to like force like him to like just to see me, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
also, I'm not a customer. I also didn't want to waste his time. I do make more money now than I did 9 years ago, so it's or 8 years ago, so I it's more of a potential thing. And I'm
Yeah.
sure it's a lot cheaper because you're not paying the armory fee when he
Mhm.
visits New York. Because I feel like it must be like at least 50% more, because like they have to take a
Damn.
cut.
Yeah.
Obviously, right? If a tailor, you might as well go to the tailor in his home country versus ordering through someone else. Not that the armory is bad, it's just like it's definitely a lot cheaper. However,
Mhm.
maybe I should. Maybe next time I'll buy I'll buy a bespoke Tailor Cade suit, and then I'll
Oh,
just have to
there
go
you
to
go.
Japan again and then get the second fitting. Might as well. You know what I'm saying? But
Mhm.
unfortunately, did not get to do that. So if anyone's asking, that's a very big regret of mine. I also didn't spend too much time in Shibuya, which is where Taylor Cade is. So,
Mhm.
um, yeah, we did pass by it because, like, obviously everyone who hadn't been there wanted to see Shibuya Crossing. So, Spencer, you had a question for me.
I sure did. Well, so was everyone able to kind of like do their own thing or whatever? Like, did the group split up, or did everyone kind of stick together for most of it?
I think so obviously the couple does couple stuff
Mm-hmm.
together. And I think so the way the layout was is that we arrived in Tokyo for a couple of days, then took a train to Osaka, which became our small hub, and then we went from Osaka to Kyoto, which is like about an hour train ride. Um like we went to Kyoto for one day, then did Nara slash Osaka, because Nara is kind of like definitely a day. Osaka, I was sorry, Nara is like 30 or 40 minutes from
Mm-hmm.
Osaka, so we did like Nara for the deer and like lunch, and then came back to Osaka, then did another day to Kyoto, then the following day went back to Tokyo, um, as like the final stretch. And so that last leg of Tokyo is kind of like where we got to do more of our own things, especially
Mm-hmm.
me, Sirhan, and Bristol. Whereas, and that's that last leg is when James, Claire, and Jimmy went to hang out with James's family.
Mm-hmm.
So they
That's
were
nice.
kind of
Yeah.
out in Imabari, which apparently is the towel capital of
The
of
towel
Japan.
capital.
Yeah, that's right. It's where
Damn.
all those factories for towels, and there's a lot of towels. I should have asked if it's paper towels or if it's hand towels.
Maybe any sort of towel.
It could be.
Reusable, disposable,
It could
Yeah.
be,
moist,
and I mean,
dry.
when you're in Japan, I don't know if you guys know this. This is something I totally forgot actually, but they give you a wet cloth, like in a napkin or like in a little package, whenever you go to a restaurant or a bar, because Japan is like, you want to wash your hands beforehand,
Mm-hmm.
and Also like maybe like dab your neck or whatever. It's kind of like a hot towel, except it's a disposable
It's a
version
disposable towel.
of that.
It's like
But
when
they
you
do
go to a
that
barbecue
everywhere.
restaurant. Was it like
Yeah.
was it humid? Was it hot when you were over there?
So
Yeah.
fucking lootly, it was
Yeah.
humid. Yeah, I know that a big part is people are gonna ask us, Ethan, what did you wear on this trip?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
insane. Like I'm just, I'm crazy.
Yeah,
I'm
can we go over
ridiculous.
packing
Yeah,
for
let's
the
talk about
Japanese
packing
weather?
Yeah.
etiquettes.
Yeah.
It's what the people
So
are here for.
yeah, so again, it was super humid. Obviously, the smart thing to do is wear well, I guess maybe the most practical thing is like wear a tank top and shorts and like comfortable sneakers, but you got to be fitted up. Everyone in Japan is fitted up. Well, I'll talk more about that in a second, but Japan is obviously super stylish, more so I would say than like New York or I guess I haven't been to London in a while. Um, but you gotta be dressed up. It's fun to be let me go back. I think people like to be dressed up in Japan, or that's kind of like the
Mhm.
sense you get. People have a passion for looking good. There is a sense to not even just like restaurants, but like to the menswear scene there, or like to even stores where people show like look their best. People who work in menswear in Japan want to work in menswear, and so you have
Yeah.
that zeal, and so it's kind of you might as well also be fitted up. It's nice to look good. The
Yeah.
downside again is how humid it is, and the fact that you, unlike them who are working 9 to 5, you are walking around 9 to 5, so you
Mm.
are sweating. You're going in and out of well you take the train, but also like you're walking everywhere, right? Like because there's so much cool stuff to explore in Tokyo, I mean even in Osaka and Kyoto. But packing, just like in true Ethan fashion, I've kind of gotten it down to a science, and I definitely packed a week in advance.
Mhm.
I'm lucky enough to have a big enough wardrobe to where I can pack and not like miss anything for like what I'm wearing that week. You know what I mean? Like I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not like, oh no, I packed my favorite pants or shoes and now I can't wear them until the trip. Like no, I have a huge wardrobe. It's fine.
Mhm.
But this time I packed a lot of sport shirts. I mean, I feel like that's what we would all do, right? Like I am not wearing full on suits and
Yeah.
ties and
Especially if it's
hats
that
and
humid.
whatever.
You gotta have the open
Exactly.
collar for those
Yeah.
Yeah,
situations.
absolutely. I mean, you gotta have an undershirt because you're gonna fucking sweat through that shit, and you're
Mhm.
not gonna be able to wash unless there's plenty of coin laundry, just like if you were in New York or I guess in LA, right? Like if you were to visit, you could go to a laundromat and do it, but no one's actually gonna do that,
Yeah.
unless you have a lot of free time, which we're not, because I did not like. I'm not going back to the hotel or the Airbnb, which I'll get to in a second, to hang out. Like I don't want to waste an hour or two doing laundry.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I
you
do.
gotta
That's one
wear
of my favorite things.
undershirts. Yeah, I do. Actually, at home, I do like doing laundry, but that's because it's mindless and I get to actually take a break. But yeah, you gotta pack your button up shirts. I mean, I tried to wear majority of those, like the rayon shirts. I did a couple of work shirts. Um, but the unfortunate thing is, again, I have to wear undershirts and tank tops underneath because I don't want to sweat through or damage my shirts, because you are wearing them through. You're wearing them, you're sweating
Yeah.
the friction of your neck and your body, like, yeah, you don't want to ruin your stuff. And I did bring stuff that I liked, like a yellow sports shirt. I brought my chambray sports shirt. I brought my chambray work shirt. I brought, a green 1940s work shirt. I brought my white rayon work shirt. So I brought a lot of
Mhm.
those. I brought my fatigue pants, my M43 pants. I brought my military khakis, my World War II ones. I wore jeans on the plane. Jeans are probably great because obviously if you sweat in them, you don't have you're probably not going to tear as much. Whereas the
Yeah.
last time I traveled, or maybe in Italy, a couple of years ago, that's when I tore through my M43 pants because,
Oh
like, yeah, they're
no.
just, the HBT just,
It
I
it
just
just
been wearing them. It
yeah.
just it just blew out.
Yeah.
So I brought different pairs of M43 pants, and I also brought shorts. I also brought my dark brown dyed Ralph Lauren shorts
Oh,
that I dyed
nice.
myself. They were white when I bought them. Now they're a dark brown, if you know what I'm saying.
Mhm.
Um, and in terms of shoes, I just brought two pairs. I brought penny loafers, the LHS, because they are the widest loafers, and my feet
Nice.
did expand because I remember I took them off at some point to rest, and I put them back on, and I'm like, wow, yeah, these are tighter than the
Oh
morning.
man.
And I brought my Wakua deck shoes, which took a beating when I went to Fushimi Inari, and I'll get to that in a second. But yeah, it was a pretty minimal thing. Everything fit into my carry-on. which is everyone was so surprised. But I'm like, yeah, I'm not bringing a suit, guys. I'm not crazy.
Mhm.
In terms of jackets, I brought my red chore coat from Drake's that I've had for, I guess, yeah, like 8 years. I've had it since like 2018, 2019.
Nice.
My navy double-breasted blazer, which probably also took a damn beating. And then my fishing vest, which was probably the best thing. I mean, if I think about like travel attire, the best look is like a button-up shirt or a t-shirt, obviously depending on how you want to do this. And I did wear two t-shirts during the trip, and a fishing vest because it
Mhm.
looks cool, and you got plenty of pockets. You almost don't have to bring a tote bag. I mean, you should, like, if you want to bring like a book and like
Yeah.
whatever, but like there's so many pockets, especially I know you have a fishing jacket.
Yeah.
But like I like there's a couple times where like headphones, like wallet, passport, charger, multiple cables or whatever, all that fit on my body, which was great.
Mm.
So I
Because
would
there's
say, yeah,
the like Andy Warhol famously,
the
when he went
photographer
to
jacket.
China, yeah,
Yeah,
he wore
exactly.
the
Yeah.
fishing jacket the entire time. So
Yeah.
that's a great travel item.
Side note, very, very trendy. I feel like, if you guys are on TikTok, fishing vests have come in and out. I mean, especially in the last couple of years where like the utility vest trend back in like 2020,
Man,
I
I remember
think.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
still in full swing, or people have kind of rediscovered it to the point where in Japan, a couple of the big vintage shops like Berbergen, and I went to a place called Belphegor, which reminded me of I think Hitman Reborn, which is like
Reborn.
which
Yeah.
is a bad guy. Also, it's like a historical, I think, demon, I think, or whatever
Oh,
that's the
nice.
name. But anyway, both of these places did stock like 60s fishing jackets, and we were remarking how like they are rare. Like most of the time you find fishing vests, and fishing vests on eBay are pretty cheap.
Mhm.
Whether
Yeah.
it's like the 80s or whatever. I got mine's from like the 60s or 70s. I think Spencer's yours is from the 60s as
Yeah.
well. Yeah, yours is pretty rare because
Mhm.
like in Japan, like they were like $500.
Damn.
It's
Okay, that's
crazy.
crazy.
So my thing was also like when something is that popular, I'm like I want to find like can brands just reproduce this, and I know that
Yeah.
the famous Captain Sunshine photographer jacket that Derek loves talking about for good reason, because it looks cool and it looks like it is exactly a repro of the one that that Andy Warhol wore. Like I'm
Mhm.
like, please, can like Buck Mason or someone just make, or even like Brycelands or something, Beams out. And I looked it up. Beams did make a photographer jacket, again with full sleeves, like 5 years ago. So obviously can't find that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm surprised that I mean, I guess if Engineered Garments did one, it would be like their twist on it, so it wouldn't be exactly
that
maybe
yeah.
what you're looking for.
I did go to Engineered Garments. I'm sorry, we're like going all over the place. So
Yeah.
this is not a great. There's no structure here. But also, if you want structure, read the blog. That's kind of
Exactly.
That's the whole thing. Yeah, we're
This is Club Random right now.
club random. Yeah, I did go to Engineered Garments, but it was very small. I mean, I guess like Nepenthes is probably the better place because Nepenthes has like
Right.
a bigger selection of stuff. I still haven't been to the LA store yet.
Mm.
But like I'm sure there's probably more Engineered Garments like showrooms. I just happened to go to the one in Harajuku because like there's like multiple capital locations in Tokyo as
Oh,
well,
that's
and I'm
super
like,
cool. Yeah.
and I went to a tiny one, so I don't know. I maybe I should have done more research, but again, I was just like this conversation. I'm like going all over the place. I'm like, okay, like we'd be walking. I'm like, oh shit, okay, what's around here that I can go to right now?
Mhm.
While like they're buying or they're like getting a bee or somewhere. Like, okay, what's around here? So, but yeah, I went to the Engineered Garments store, and it's very small. It felt like it's like a designer store, so there's like very minimal racks of like stuff, and
Mhm.
it's more of like their really focused collections of stuff, like the more Engineered Garments you have in your head, versus like I think to me the better stuff was like their collaboration stuff with like Beams,
Mhm.
you know
Yeah. Did you get to go back to the Beam
the Harajuku.
store?
I
Yeah.
did. That was really
Nice.
fun. I think one big thing about this trip was like and I'm very lucky, obviously, to like to go back to a place and then just kind of like um kind of not analyze, but just kind of think about how much has changed, what's been different,
Mhm.
and what's the same, or what's
Yeah.
familiar to you after, especially after 8 years. 8 years is like
Yeah,
a
that's a long
pretty
time.
big, yeah. And no, and there were I noticed a lot of things. Again, I wrote about this in the blog post, but kind of just remarking about what has like the style of people, or like what the stock of like what's in the store. And
Yeah.
Beams, I think, is pretty interesting because Beams Plus in Harajuku is a pretty maximalist store. Beams Plus
Mm.
is their fashion arm. There is Beams proper, which obviously different than the pop up that we went to, is a full service store. They have like home goods in there. It's men's and
Yeah.
women's. There's a lot more like straight up like United Arrow style like tailoring suit stuff at the other Beams. There's also a lot more casual stuff. And casual, I mean like more like not hype, I guess streetwear, whatever.
Hmm.
Because I went to the regular Beams in Ginza.
Yeah.
But Beams Plus is like a J Crew, like a good J Crew. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of stuff in there. It's styled very Ralph Lauren. There's like all the layers going on with each other.
Yeah.
It's very very cool out in Beams Plus. And the staff are really cool. But again, looking back, you can see how things have changed, and it's a lot less tailoring focused, I would say,
Oh wow,
especially
it's
in
gotten
the
more
styling.
casual.
Yeah, so like when you can look back at the old blog post, but like when I took a photo of the staff there, there's like two dudes wearing blazers. One of them even wearing like a OCBD tie, gray trousers, and leather shoes.
Hmm.
There were no such things at this particular. I mean, they stocked them. They stocked like a blazer, obviously, but like the staff were a lot way more casual. Like if you
That's
look at the
super
photo
interesting. Yeah.
of the beams in Harajuku, like Kintaro, or yeah, Kitaro, he was wearing like a like bucket hat with like an untucked shirt and like nylon shorts, or like kind of baggies. It's still very preppy. Obviously, that's kind of where Beams Plus kind of has its root in preppy Americana, rugged
Hmm.
ivy. But like again, compared to before, where they would be wearing a bucket hat with a blazer and like fatigues, like this is a way more casual. Like one guy was wearing like a trucker cap with like a merch tee with like an unbuttoned field shirt on top of it. Much more grungy,
Hmm.
much more casual, a little 90s, a little Y2K. Um, the shop manager there, who I got to see, which is funny because he was the shop manager back in 2019. It's funny because I was like telling Kitaro like about how I was last there and showing a picture, and then the manager walks in and is like, "Oh," and I'm like, "Oh, hey, what's up?" Like
Yeah.
Nice.
he was wearing like just an anorak and like running shorts. Again, he could have been running errands, or having a meeting maybe at like the HQ, which is kind of down the way. But like again, it was very casual there too. So it could just be like menswear trends where and I said this before, where despite menswear being a lot more popular now, I feel like it's become more casual thanks to like the whole menswear mixture that we've been kind of talking about, the kind of post-pandemic mood where people are looking at more sporty stuff, right? You're looking at
Hmm.
like people wearing New Balance with suits, etc. Or like the kind of like streetwear influence where like people are the mature hype beast, right? They're not wearing you know Jordans, anymore. Actually, people still are, but like people like you're wearing more again New Balance. Maybe you're wearing like a Sperry collab, a
Yeah.
deck shoe collab, which they did have. They have them. I expect you would love it. A olive green with a black
Damn.
with a
Yeah.
black
See, I need
sole.
that one. That's what I've
That's
been looking for.
yeah. So that was really fun there. And in fact, I would say Beams Plus is probably my favorite store that I went to when I was there, just because it had everything. Like they
Hmm.
do have tailoring, they do have some ties, they have some trousers, but like a batik
Oh, I just found it.
jacket, yeah,
100 bucks
batik,
on
yep,
the Sperry website. Ooh, I might do it. I might do this.
yeah, you got to do it.
Yeah.
Purchase on air.
Yeah, it was, but yeah, it was probably my favorite store because it just had like everything. It wasn't super like they have a particular vision, of course, but being able to see everything all at once, right? You can see casual stuff there, you can see tailoring stuff there. Um, one big thing that they had, so it was Beams's 50th anniversary, and they had a couple of fun stuff. They had a Madras cap, which I bought, which is what
Hmm.
you can see me wearing a couple of pictures. It's like a long bill cap, the kind of the five
Oh,
panel,
that's super cool. I love those.
and it's in Madras, and the sides were perforated. So
Hmm.
that was really cool. Very, very
Nice.
fun. I remarked that it seems similar to a Quaker Marine long bill hat, and then
Yeah, that sounds like it.
one of the staff walks in wearing a Quaker Marine hat. The taste level in Japan is just off the charts. You know what I'm saying? Like
Uh-huh.
everyone is just so good. It probably stems from being super codified. Like that's the whole like amateur, right? Here's like a particular look, here's a style genre, here are the things that go into that look. But it's not, it doesn't feel like cosplay. I mean, I wouldn't even say that we, I guess maybe it is in the positive sense that we also do it, but like like the people there obviously have such a command over the codification, and they allow themselves to have so much more nuanced expression. Like here, yeah, people can codify Americana, but it still comes out as like jeans and a fucking like button up shirt. But there's like,
Yeah.
even within Beams Plus, like it's, again, like I said, it's very casual, but like there's so much nuance in every single outfit, even if they are more casual than like wearing a suit. And so again, like it was really cool to see, like I'm just I mean, not even just Beams Plus, but just seeing everyone's style, like anywhere I go, I'm like, damn, everything is so good. you
Mhm.
know Again, not much in the way of Neapolitan tailoring or Ivy trad tailoring. I think obviously if you were like that, you were probably an older man. But young guys, you're wearing camp collar shirts with like Armani style suits, or you're wearing like a t-shirt with a jacket. And I'm like getting a little away from me here, but again, even young people are wearing a lot of fishing vests, a
Mhm.
lot of camp collar shirts, um, and a lot of fisherman sandals. That was kind of like the
Mm.
big thing
Nice.
there, or like they were like wearing deck shoes. In terms of
Hmm.
like non menswear staff, I'm talking like regular people on the street. A lot of young people. It's very TikTok.
Yeah.
It's very like big shirt, tiny. Oh, sorry, small, tiny shirt, big pants. The kind of like big pleated jeans, like
Uh-huh.
selvage jeans, barrel
People
cut
love
jeans.
those. People love
Yep,
those
Yeah.
now.
with like the very Gen Z look was very common, especially when I went to Disney Sea. Like
Mm.
that was like the look. Like most of the people wearing neckties were the kids at Disney Sea
That's
wearing like the
funny.
whole like short sleeve shirt with like an undone necktie,
Yeah,
with like
yeah.
a crossbody bag with like a Labubu and a bunch of bag charms, with striped jeans, and then like Doc Martens
Like
or some kind of
the
chunky
like
shoe.
fashion student version of wearing a tie.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
exactly what it was. But yeah, because in terms of like the actual menswear stuff, it wasn't that common to see menswear guys wearing it. Because again, you'd probably be wearing like a bandana with a sawtooth shirt, or like what I saw a lot of too was like the kind of like sterling silver like ball necklaces. You know what I mean? Like the kind of like
Mm-hmm.
hippie style kind of stuff for like indigo knot necklaces, or
Yeah.
whatever.
Those are cool.
Yeah, I can't believe you
I
don't
would
have
rock.
one yet.
I don't
Yeah.
have one because every time I
Very
like
Visvim, very Visvim, very capital,
well, every time I get close to purchasing like a random like ethnic necklace, I think to myself, should I be doing this? And then I
Is
don't.
this allowed?
Spencer,
Yeah.
let me tell you, there are plenty of big white guys in beards who wear big pants, who wear indigo knot necklaces,
Okay.
and silver, those big chunky. You guys know what I'm talking about, like the really big ball like
Yeah.
things that
I
yeah.
know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
They wear that with a baseball cap, Spencer, you'd fit right in.
Okay, I gotta do it. I
The
gotta
Bald
do it.
Brothers kind of a
The
thing, or
Bald
Beard
Brothers,
Brothers.
man.
Yeah.
But anyway, I gotta make sure I don't forget this. Yeah, so Beam's supposed to have its 50th anniversary, and a part of that was they made a version of an ERDL radio jacket. You can look it up. Look up like the Beams Plus Radio Man
Oh
jacket.
man.
It looks like a jungle jacket, except one of the pockets has 3 mag pouches for radios.
Damn, that's cool.
And it is very cool. And it's a collab with Engineered Garments, so it's not just a reproduction. They added even more pockets, like everywhere. It's like on every sleeve. On the
Yeah.
back, there's like a back monkey pocket. At the top and the bottom, there's other radio pockets.
Okay,
It's
backrooms
insane.
vibes.
Yeah,
Pocket necks.
I know.
In.
There were. It's a half remembered Radio Man jacket or
Exactly.
whatever. But get this, they made them in multiple colors.
Oh,
So
man.
not just in olive, but they made them in a white, in blue, in navy blue, in red, in burgundy. And I was like, holy shit.
Orange.
And yes, in orange too. And seeing that in the red, I was like, fuck, man, it looks so good. Because like red outerwear feels so like 70s camping,
Mhm.
And I'm like, fuck, it makes you want to go camping. It makes you like, I want to wear this out hiking or whatever.
We should go camping. We should do a camping trip.
Absolutely,
I think that
let's
would be
do
fun.
it. That would be fun.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I almost bought it. It was like with the exchange rate, it was like $500, which is not too bad. That's kind of like the price of like a fashion jacket, I think, a proper price for it. But yeah, I tried it on multiple times, and all the Beams Plus asked for like, man, you look good, you got to buy it. And I'm like, fuck. I did not buy it, unfortunately. I did buy the Madras cap, like I said, and I also bought an engineer jacket while I was there. The kind of the sport vest looking thing. They did. I know we in the previous blog post about the LLB sport vest. I know that they did make one back then, but they also have it in regular. I don't know if it's denim. It's kind of like the kendo fabric, where it's kind of like an Oxford, like kind of like textured basket weave kind of a thing. But they had that in dark blue, like dark indigo and light wash, and unfortunately I wanted dark, but they only had my size in the light wash, and Sirhan wanted the light one, but they only had it in dark, so we ended up buying the other one. So he bought dark and I bought light, and those are the last ones that they have. So that's cool. And that was like $300, which is not,
Mm,
again, not bad for a fashion jacket,
mm.
But that was a lot of fun. Beams Plus definitely a true highlight of the trip. I got to go twice. I went during the first leg.
Nice.
We were in Harajuku, and then I went back to get the jacket. And the mattress. No, I bought the mattress cap the first time. Also, I was in Harajuku. I went to a place called the Kawaii Monster Cafe. This was insane.
Yeah.
So I
How
put
insane.
I put photos and I kind of briefly talked about it, but James likes his kind of weird quirky stuff. And there, as I said in the previous blog post and podcast, I went in 2019 to the infamous Shibuya robot cafe, where
Uh-huh.
you can watch robots battle in front of you.
Hell yeah.
That place died during the pandemic, so my
No.
kitschy
Yeah.
thing was going to you could, yeah, look it up on Insta or
That's
somewhere.
so sad.
Kawaii Monster Cafe. It is like a Chuck E. Cheese. It's kind of sad. I mean, obviously, this is not for adult. Like, this is for like kids, but
Mhm.
Yeah.
it's cute. Like, you could be there if you wanted to, but
You're loud.
yeah, it's a cafe. You go there. It's underground, and the story is that Dr. Sebastian has discovered this ancient place that kawaii monsters hang out.
Holy shit. Dr.
Yeah,
Sebastian has done it again.
that's right. Apparently, Sebastian is like an artist, so it's kind of like it was like their retelling of the lore that this designer who made the monster designs, he is the explorer who discovered this place. But that was our
Yeah.
first stop in Harajuku.
That's awesome.
It's a little
That's cool.
it's a little cringe, but it was cute. Like, I could see like kids would love it. Like they have dance parties or whatever. There's like little games in there. Obviously, any crane game you do, it's an automatic win, because like you could see it, like it grabs the thing hard versus like the
Mhm.
light
Yeah.
thing. But it's stickers, whatever. So I got a couple of stickers. It was fun. But yeah, that was a really, really funny thing. And then I went around Harajuku. And here's another hot take. I kind of wrote about this, but like, vintage shopping in Japan, I wouldn't say is that impressive to me.
Really?
I will say it is in the regular sense. Like, yes, there is so much stuff out there, like, the rayon jackets, jungle jackets, etc. But I think it's because at this point now, vintage shopping and especially secondhand resale, Depop style stuff. So I'm talking secondhand in general.
Yeah.
It's all the same. Not just in Japan. I'm talking about around the world. Like, everyone
Mm.
is selling the exact same stuff.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
I guess it's cool that we have it in California, though.
That's, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But like, everyone has, vintage jeans. Everyone's selling, like polo, vintage polo, 90s polo, and maybe it's just because like I was able to go to more vintage stores. So maybe this also was the case back a year ago. So take what I'm saying with a grain of salt here. But it's like, there was no difference between like a Silver Lake flea market,
Mm.
a Depop store, and like a random Harajuku vintage store. Again,
Mhm.
you probably have to go to like a very curated store to get what you want. But as I don't know, for me, I I don't know. I kind of wanted to be surprised more, but I guess I shouldn't have been surprised. We're like, obviously everyone loves American clothing, so everything is going
Yeah.
to be everywhere. You
Yeah.
know, there's a lot of vintage stores there, like Jams, that specifically sell, like, they're like 100% imported brands, so it's all polo. And I'm not talking about like suiting. I'm talking about like the chinos and the shorts, like all the Andrews stuff, all of those
Mhm.
Oxford shirts with like the little logo. They're all there. But even in terms of like regular curated vintage stores, again, I don't know what I'm expecting here, but like, yeah, it's all rayon shirts, Western wear, M43 pants, OG
I mean,
107s.
how
It's
are
Yeah.
it's
the prices compared to like California?
Oh,
How are
well, way
the
more expensive,
Yeah.
obviously. But also prices in America have gone up too. But like, I guess the thing is, right, is that they have the good stuff. So like, while it can be kind of hard to find a good rayon shirt here in LA, it might be more 60s now. All the 40s ones are over there,
Mhm.
because they've
Yeah.
just been curating it, and yes, the prices are like $150, $200, but also that's where they are. So I guess in that case, if that's what you wanted, you'd have to pay for it. I guess again, we're speaking for this from a perspective of, we've been doing this for 10 plus years. So like, the prices of $50 rayon sport shirts are long gone.
Yeah.
But the thing was, right back a couple of years ago, you could find the Japanese reproductions of those in Second Street. You could find again Second Street. You would have those made in Japan or Japanese brand stuff more common. I remember walking into the Shibuya Second Street, which again is a very popular place, and finding Beams ships, which is their like higher or more classic menswear focused like haberdashery,
Mhm.
stuff like that. United Arrows. When I went to Shibuya this time, like no tailoring.
Really?
Everything is way more like either designer focused. I mean, maybe it's like Yoji or whatever. It's still Japanese, but like more American stuff, a lot more t-shirts, a lot more sneakers, because like, I feel
Mhm.
like again the kind of depopification, like the kind of global idea of vintage selling or secondhand clothing, whatever that market is at Second Street. Just like our Second Street. When Second Street first opened in LA, when I went there, I found like Kamoshida like stuff,
Yeah, I remember
and
finding a bunch of sun surf stuff that I
exact
haven't seen since. Yeah.
exactly. And so it's the same thing there now too, where like maybe people just aren't into it, so they're not stocking it. And
Hmm.
again, it could be because I'm in Tokyo, so maybe it's like it's more popular. You have more tourists. People are buying more of the deep pop style stuff because that's what people want. And so all the Japanese menswear, all the Japanese Americana. Again, by that I mean the specifically Japan brands of Americana are not in Tokyo, and some people
Hmm.
did DM that to me. People like, yeah, in order to do that, you got to go to like outside of Tokyo, or you got to go to like Kyoto or Osaka. And that is true. I bought a Sun Surf Aloha shirt for $40
Damn.
In Kyoto, because like that's where they had a whole rack of them, and I could not find that in the Second Street in Tokyo. Maybe I could have gone to way more random Second Streets. Um, but nothing in the main area, the metropolitan area of Tokyo. I
Hmm.
did, however, find a couple of stuff in the Second Street in Koenji, which is the big vintage secondhand neighborhood, um, where my friends Kosuke and Kotaro, who I met the last time I was in Japan, we were walking around over there. That Second Street was where I found a Toyo Tailor, I think is what it's called. It's a reproduction Japanese brand, where I got a rayon souvenir shirt. So
Oh, that's super cool.
it's black or very
Yeah.
faded navy blue, and it says Japan on the chest and Japan on the back.
Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah, I
That's great.
tried. Yeah, I mean, I tried finding. Obviously, Suka Jan jackets are like thousands of dollars, but I
Yeah.
even tried finding like Japan reproductions of it, and I did see like what you see in America, where like it's like the 80s or 90s, like they're not that good.
Hmm.
But I couldn't. I thought I'd be able to get lucky. I couldn't find that, but walking home with a reproduction for again like 40 or $50, like 100% rayon shirt, like is crazy. But I guess maybe people don't want that.
Hmm.
It's wild. I expected to find way more like engineered garments or beams or just like neckties or whatever, but even then like still not too much of that
Yeah.
out in over there. However, I would say the best secondhand clothing store I went to that wasn't Whistler, which is the big one with all of the shoes that you've probably seen photos of, like whenever people talk about vintage shopping. Whistler, before I go on, like that was still good. A lot of Aldens there, a lot of like Brooks Brothers sack jackets over there. Didn't find anything too much because I wanted Madras. I wanted something special. I will say I want again. I've been into Mensa for so long.
Something different.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
want something different. I'm not here to find a white OCBD or like a navy blazer. If I did, I would want it to be like really good or whatever. And I didn't find anything in my size this particular time. Um, but the best thing was I went to this place called Safari. It makes it sound like it's not famous. Safari
Yeah.
is world famous. Uh, and what's funny is that we had a friend, Bristol, meet us because she was out doing her own thing.
Hmm.
And so we went to Safari in Koenji, and she took a train, and like she's like, "Where are you guys at?" I'm like, "Safari." And she's like, "There's 6 in Koenji. Like, which one are you at?" I'm like, "I don't even know." Like
Hmm.
I'm in one of them. I'm sure that each one is curated to specific like products, but I went to one that was tailoring focused. There was actually two. There's one on the first floor and then one in this like right next door, but up on the third floor. That's
Okay.
where you could find like Kamoshida, Sartoria del Cuore,
Hmm.
fucking bespoke. I saw a bespoke, I don't know what the label was, but like a modern bespoke belt back suit with pleated patch pockets.
Oh,
It
damn. That's
it
crazy.
it looked like the 30s. Like
Yeah.
it was insane. But it was obviously very, very small. Did not even
Mm-hmm.
try putting that shit on. But I'm like, damn, and it was like $600. Like I was like, holy shit, this is
Man.
crazy. Seeing, secondhand stuff like that go for affordable prices. And I don't know if it's popular. I don't know if people buying those suits is cool because everyone else wants other stuff, or people want like polo. You know what I mean? Like it's pretty crazy. I mean, seeing like secondhand sevenfold ties for like $100 versus like the $300 price is like it's pretty crazy,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but that place was really really cool. um I also went to Komihyo Men's, which is in Shinjuku. That place was good because I remember they had a whole bunch of leather shoes, and this time I bought pair of boots.
Oh, nice.
Finally bought well, actually I bought pair of boots
Yeah, I
That
was
from
gonna
that'll
the
say
fit.
you've had
yeah.
them, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so as some people know who read the blog very carefully, I did own pair of boots before, but they were just too big for me. They were like a full size too big, pair of boot Michael. So I was like, when I go to Japan, I am buying pair of boots because I want them so bad. And they have an actual store there because they
Nice.
would actually have shoes that go down to my size. I was a 39.
Oh, that's
Uh,
good. Yeah.
and so I was able to try them on there, and I bought new pair of boot Michaels and Ginza 6. But then when I went to Komihyo, I saw the black Avenues, which are the split toes. So I'm like, fuck. And I put them on. They're my size. I'm like, well, I guess I'm walking out.
Nice.
$200.
Hmm.
$200 pair of boots. Come on, man.
Wow.
And so, it's like I paid slightly over regular price for two shoes, if you really want to do the menswear math of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was really cool, like seeing, and also like JM Weston's, fucking Crockett and Jones, like all these secondhand shoes for relatively normal prices, for which are also relative, like not that worn, for like half off or half off the retail price, which is probably the correct price for a secondhand shoe.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But like yeah, going to Kamiho was a lot of fun. So Kamiho and Safari for menswear heads. Obviously, these are not new things. If you look up anything like that, like on like where to shop secondhand, I'm sure that Permanent Style or Ask Andy About Clothes or Style Forum will tell you to go to those places. But those were where I was actually surprised. Where I'm like, wow, this is
Mhm.
really cool.
Were you
In
able
that,
to? Oh, sorry. Go on.
I was gonna say, like, I know that you guys probably are aware of like Real McCoys stuff like that.
Yeah.
But there's also like fun places like Haversack and Anatomica, which make like
Mm.
kind of like they're kind of like engineered garments where like they do like their own spin on vintage Americana.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I couldn't I wasn't able to go to those stores proper, but going into Safari, I got to handle those pieces because some of them were secondhand there, and that was really cool too.
Mm-hmm.
And I almost bought like like one of those like chore cardigan blazers, like a lapel-less chore coat kind of a thing, um in like crazy fabrics that they had there. I almost did it, but I didn't do it. But like that was also a fun thing about Safari. Like I got to see fun designer, some Japan made and designed, because like that's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see more of those stuff. I again, I didn't care that like, I mean, yeah, I could use an actual vintage jungle jacket and not the repro that I currently have. But
Mm-hmm.
like I want more than that. I want like the EG version of a jungle jacket. I just wanted to
Yeah.
be surprised, and I wanted to be more, enamored, or like just something more interesting, I guess at this particular point.
Yeah. Did you see any like Orslo stuff? Because that's a brand that I've always really wanted to check
Yeah,
out in
secondhand.
person.
I got
Yeah.
to see some Orslo like short coats. I went to Hinoya Denim, which is like that
Mm-hmm.
denim like haberdashery, which stocks a bunch of like they have like a bunch of different jeans. They also have like Buzz Rickson and
Yeah.
Real McCoy stuff there. It's a little yeah, multi-brand denim workwear focused store. I went to the one in Osaka in a mall. Also, malls in Japan are just good. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like it's not just fucking
Yeah.
JC Penney. Also, on that note, the JC Penney equivalent of like menswear over there is also still good. I mentioned this before, but like JC Penney kind of sucks. But over here, whatever their equivalent of it, it's still 3 roll 2 with like a rep stripe tie, or like that's again the taste level is cool. But yeah, I got to see some Orslo stuff. Um, there's like Big John denim. There's like a couple of jeans I tried on. I did not buy jeans. I almost bought reproduction military chinos, but the rise was too short. I
Mm-hmm.
also almost bought tiger stripe shorts, which I thought was really cool. But also the
Nice. Those are
rise
cool.
was, but they're mid rise. I guess I'm just
Ah.
too used to like Gurkha shorts, like where they're just like giant flies that are like 14 inches.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But if any brands listening, if you could make a Gurkha short or just like a big, super high rise pleated short in tiger stripe, I'll buy that shit.
Mm-hmm.
They do have camo Gurkha shorts, frog camo at Bryceland's, obviously, but
Yeah.
I don't want Gurkha. I actually don't want Gurkha closure because I gotta take a shit and I don't want to be like
You
undoing
got to
my
take the whole
fucking
thing
thing.
off.
It's
You
too
Yeah.
know?
much.
Yeah. So um yeah, I didn't there was a lot of denim workwear. James thought he could buy salvage boot cuts, but I think they're a little too slim, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's gonna stick, surprisingly, I don't know, he's a little crazy for this, surprisingly, with his Wrangler Rangers, which are
Wow.
poly, but whatever. But yeah, Jimmy, the friend that, again, this is also, I don't want to out him here, first international trip, first time eating sushi.
Whoa.
Yeah. First time I think eating gyoza too, by the way.
That's kind
Insane.
of crazy. Yeah.
He bought selvedge jeans. He was like,
Mhm.
"Hey, should I buy these?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude." And then he's like, and he put on one. I'm like, "Hey, how about you size up and also make sure he hits your navel?" He's like, "Oh, okay, cool." Like the fact that he was open to that. He also walked into Capitol with me, and he was
Mhm.
like, "Damn, this hoodie's sick," and walked out with a fucking Capitol hoodie. This guy, again, this guy, no frame of reference. He just was like, this is a cool hoodie. I'm
That's
gonna buy this
awesome. I
thing."
love
Yeah,
that. I,
what
I
a
feel like that
fucking
happens
flex.
a lot, you know? Like, that's always cool. That's always cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun to like, because I mean, the other people that were in that tiny ass store with me, which was I think near Shinjuku or Harajuku, probably Shinjuku. Um, like the people in there knew, like they were like, this was like their destination, like they knew what
Mhm.
they were going into. But like I think it's funny to be there with like Jimmy just also there too, where he's like, "Damn, all right," like, you know, just like
This
looking
is
pretty
around.
This
cool.
is cool,
Yeah,
man. Yeah.
and I'm very glad I was there to be there with him for that. I mean, he's not gonna get into mentor from this journey at all.
Who knows? Maybe he will.
Yeah, it'd be funny if, I mean, he's kind of that guy because he's a snowboarder. I feel like he like Capital would be exactly what he would be into, you know, the
Damn,
kind of
yeah.
casual, like elevated, like a hoodie, you know, or like, yeah, like a little bit of a hippie style. I feel like, you know, he also bought Onitsuka Tigers. He bought like some like
Oh,
green
those are
suede
great.
one.
Yeah. I
He's all
really
like,
want
yeah,
the what the I can't remember what year it is, but like the Mexico Olympics ones where it's like the
oh yeah.
colors of the Mexican flag. Those
Yeah,
are so
those are really
cool.
good. Yeah, because like I went to the one that was like the collab store and
Yeah,
like all the
Mexico 66. Those are the
yeah,
best.
the
Yeah.
fashion one, because there's like two in Ginza.
Uh,
And so we yeah, he was like, "Damn, these shoes are sick," and just walked out with them. He wore them the rest of the trip. He was a little concerned because he was like, "Oh man, I'm getting some weird blue stains on my shoes." I'm like, "It's because of the
It's
denim that
the
you bought,"
denim.
you know.
yeah, Indigo baby.
That's right. It's a part of the whole thing. He's like, "All right, cool." So that was
Mm.
that was a lot of fun. He bought all that kind of stuff. Not to out him again, he bought a
You keep
huge.
outing him.
I have to. He was the funniest part of the trip. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, like nothing
Yeah.
happened. There was no drama on the trip, but like seeing everything through his eyes. He's also clearly not a seasoned
He was the
traveler.
audience surrogate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He bought like I remember I have a carry on that goes above the thing. He
Mhm.
had a check-in, huge luggage, and he said, he was like, "Yeah, man, I gotta cycle through my two pairs of pants." I'm like, "Bro, wait, hold on.
He brought
You
two
said
pairs of
he
pants
he bought
for
two
12
pairs
days.
of, but like, what else is in this giant suitcase?"
That's crazy, man.
He's like, "Yeah, I brought a whole bunch of loungewear and sweatpants." I'm like, "But you're not gonna loungewear. You're gonna be walking outside." He's like, "Yeah, I didn't realize that." I'm like,
What? What did he
yeah.
think was
I
gonna?
don't
That's crazy.
I don't know, dude. Like, it's crazy. Like, I brought like, again, I brought like four pairs of pants. I brought like so much. He brought like five shirts and two pairs of pants. And I'm like, what else is in here, dude? Like,
He brought a
like,
lot of
come on.
rocks.
Yeah,
And, maybe he
was
reads a
laughing.
lot. Maybe it was filled with books.
Yeah. I mean, again, I don't want to. He just. I'm trying not to like be too much, but let's just say he had a really really fun time. He definitely enjoyed himself in Japan multiple times because you're not driving, but you do have to take a train that's like 30 minutes or 45 minutes. And you also have to make sure that you don't miss the last train.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And trains do end at like 1 o'clock, like, you know, maybe even like 12 o'clock. Like I remember when we went to again, we our home base was in Osaka for part of it, and we took a train out to Kyoto, and it's like an hour, almost an hour and 20 minutes. I know, maybe that's, yeah. And we were on a train back, and it stopped while we were there, and we had to
Wow.
take like a fucking like $60 Uber ride, like, to go like 10 miles back, because again, the trains just stopped. Like, we were like, yeah, this is the end of the line. You got to get out of the train,
Uh-huh.
and it was only like 1 o'clock or whatever. But even, I mean, the word, Japan is so super safe. Everything is super friendly. Like, not even like just the people.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like everything is so like you know where you're going. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
when you're in New York, it doesn't tell you what, like, yeah, unless you are familiar with the stops, like, oh, here you are at St. Mark's Place, and near Chinatown. But here it's like you're at stop 1 of 19. You're going 1 to 19, or you're going backwards. Like, you just know what direction you're gonna go in. There's so
Mhm.
many. There's a lot of trains, but like it's just so easy. If you are looking at your Google Maps, if you're just trying to like free ball, then yeah, of course you're gonna get fucking lost. You're gonna go on the wrong platform.
Free ball it.
Yeah.
Just free
But
ball.
yeah. We also, so in our accommodations, we stayed in an Airbnb, and I know people say don't stay at Airbnbs in Japan because it's not worth it, and it's not worth it, I think.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Unless, like, I think so, like, it definitely felt like a hostel. It was like a bunch of bunk beds and like a shower area slash sink. By that I mean it's and a toilet. So basically, if someone were to shower, you have to wear slippers, or even like whatever, like yeah, shoes. Oh, I guess not shoes. You're not supposed to wear shoes inside, but like the floor is gonna be wet. Like, you can't just go to the restroom in the
Yeah.
middle of the night, because the shower is in the toilet area.
It's one room or
It,
one like
I mean, it
yeah.
reminded me of the Philippines, I guess. So it's not. I'm like not unfamiliar with that shit, but it's like, that's what like an Airbnb, because it's like it's not really like the culture there. I'm assuming is not as much. It's probably different now. But we just happened to pick a place that was like that. It was probably really really cheap.
Hmm.
We did a ryokan,
Nice.
in which is the traditional Japanese inn where you're on the mats and the futons in one room. That was really cute. It was like a big sleepover every night. Again, none of us were that bad with snoring, but of course, if you use the restroom, you got to make sure you don't trip over someone. I'm specifically talking about Jimmy.
Oh no.
Mhm.
But that was really cool. I did not use the bathhouse at the Ryokan. I would just, I didn't have that much free time because I'm just out the whole time. But some of the girls did take a break because, again, we were going out like every fucking day, and they got to enjoy the bathhouse there at the Ryokan. And the last part of the trip, we actually they had like a rental house, which is probably the way to do it, because you're near, you're in the neighborhood, and it was
Yeah.
really really nice. It was like having like an American Airbnb that's a house. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like a room with a bunch of the bunk beds. It was like everyone had
Yeah.
their own room. There's a separate bathroom. So that was really really nice. Probably definitely on the pricier end of things, but it was definitely some kind of company that, like, specialized in that one. And so that was nice. And we actually did one night where we got home early and we just like watched, well, we didn't watch anime because we watched a little bit of Sakamoto Days, but we watched my first time watching Death, Sex and Robots.
Oh, Love, Death, Robots.
Love,
I've
Death,
never
and
seen it,
Robots.
but
Yeah.
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 I watched a couple episodes.
We did a
It's
couple
good.
of that. We did a little bit of a convenience store run where we got a bunch of chips and beer and
Okay.
ice cream.
Japanese convenience store snacks. Did you have any of the cool viral ones?
I don't know about viral, but I had this ice cream sandwich, which was a waffle ice cream sandwich, waffle, encasing with vanilla ice cream and a thin, crispy layer of chocolate in
Oh
there.
my god, crispy!
Nice.
We shared one, and then the next day we each bought our own individual ones and just
Nice.
ate that. That was good. I mean,
Did
like
you
that
get
was.
the fried chicken at the convenience store?
I did not. There were plenty of advertisements showing that. Some of
I know
them.
that's like the basic one, but like everybody's like, you gotta
You gotta
get
do
one.
it. I was just too lazy because I didn't want to wait for like also like a microwave. I know Jimmy again.
Oh, yeah.
Jimmy's the one buying full on like the rotating hot dog stuff. He got the
Yeah.
equivalent of that there. But
Yeah.
a lot of my breakfast, because like we're going out every day. Like I normally skip breakfast. I just go straight to lunch. But I was so like I'd be dead tired. I get a headache by not eating because like again you're burning so many calories by walking around so much. I did have breakfast every day at the convenience store. I just eating like an onigiri, which is I always got like tuna and mayonnaise or salmon mayonnaise because that's really good. I also got the katsu sandos over there. And then you
Nice.
kind of get either like a lemonade or like a coffee. I actually didn't have too much coffee when I was in Japan because I was too scared of, first off, getting the shits somewhere.
The coffee poopings.
Yes,
Everywhere.
But the good thing though is that there's a lot of public restrooms, and if you're in the train stations or even parks. Obviously, restrooms are for paying customers in cafes and restaurants, but like, hey, you can order like a sandwich somewhere and and enjoy it. I think that's really fun.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And the restrooms are really good, but I was still a little scared, and I know that I also didn't want to fuck up my sleep schedule or anything while I was out there, so I did not have too much coffee. I heard, I don't know how true it is because I didn't see it. Not a lot of milk alternatives in
Oh,
Japan.
really?
Yeah, I don't know if they inherently, maybe it's because they inherently use like half and half or maybe like non-dairy stuff, because I know that in some boba shops they inherently do that. A milk tea doesn't have a lot of dairy.
Yeah.
But I didn't want a chance getting whole milk and coffee. The shits would have been crazy. So I basically, if I did have coffee, it was black coffee. But one day I was like, fuck it, I want a latte. Nothing happened. It could also be because I didn't have anything in my stomach, so
Hmm.
nothing bad was there. But one day, me and Sirhan went to a coffee place called the Smokist, and it was, most coffee shops, just like bars in Japan, are very very small. It's like
Yeah.
it's like you kind of just go in there. It's like a counter thing, but this place looked big, so you walk in there. We look around. I'm like, oh, it's a smoking coffee shop. Everyone in,
Yeah.
Whoa.
and also indoor
Everyone
smoking in Japan. Yeah, indoor
that's
smoking.
allowed?
Yes, it's
Hell
it's
yeah.
so popular. So like everyone there
Uh-huh.
is like reading and smoking and they're working on thing. And I'm like, holy shit! It's called the Smokist.
The
Because
smokest.
yeah,
That's awesome.
so I did not partake there. I did have a couple of indoor cigarettes, but I did not partake while I was drinking coffee. It was a little too early for a cigarette that day.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, and speaking of indoor smoking, I went to a couple of bars. This is a bad transition, but man,
It's perfect
bars in
transition.
Japan are crazy. And I was telling this to my friends out there. You know how there's a lot of themed bars in there's a lot of themed bars and cafes in Japan.
Yeah.
There's not too many, at least with bars. It's not too many just bars by itself. It's either a themed bar, a vinyl bar, or it's an izakaya where you're also eating and drinking.
Mm.
But in
Yeah.
America, like the idea that in America, like there are bars that just have no food and you
Hmm.
just have a drink, like that's insane to them, you know.
Wow.
Or I mean,
I mean,
or
it
it's like
is
it's
nice to
gotta be,
have the food, you know? It's nice
yeah,
to
yeah.
have the food.
Or it's like a place where like it's a very small, like have you heard of Golden Guy? Have you heard of that trending thing? It's a whole street in Japan that's like all those like just like stall bars where there's like 5 seats in there, and there's like just dozens and dozens
Yeah.
on each side, and
See,
it's like
that's what I know from Ozu movies. I think of those kinds of bars.
exactly,
Yeah.
yeah. And
Yeah.
so those places they might not have full on food, but that like it's small. There's no like if it's a big bar, there's got to be some kind of thing to like entertain you, you know.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Or at least there's a theme, like if there's like a apocalyptic theme or it's a
Yeah.
Western
Yeah.
bar or something. And we did go to an James wanted to go there. There was like no one in there. I was like, come on, dude. But it was an apocalyptic themed vegan bar. So like the
Nice.
food was vegan.
Because the meat is all radioactive, so you have
That
to.
is exactly
Yeah.
what I thought. I think
Yeah.
that they were probably
Yeah.
doing, or it's the future, right? It's the future.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Or
It's
you have
like
to grow. Everybody has to grow their own everything.
exactly,
Yeah.
yeah. So
It's
I
easier.
I had a giant. I pulled an MJ where I got the
Yeah.
I think I got like the some kind of like potato burger. So it had like a
Hmm.
fried thing in there, and I was like, oh, just like MJ and his mistake with the portobello mushroom burger. That's probably the patty.
That is the
I gotta
burger. Yeah.
add the patty. So I added the teriyaki,
Yeah.
the vegan burger. No, so I had two layers. Actually, it was a positive version where now I
It
had
was
two.
extra. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I paid like $20 or maybe like 15 or whatever it is. And it was good. It was just vegan, but it was so tall. Like the waiter was like, "Hey, do you want a fork and knife?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I can't." It was stacked up, bro.
Uh,
But that was fun. I will say it is so hard traveling there with a group of 6 people because so many bars are like, there's like no way.
yeah, I was gonna
You
say
know?
like that's
Yeah.
even just hanging out in LA with 6 or 7 people. I feel like can be hard to find a place where you
Yeah,
can all sit.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Uh,
more than four is like pushing it sometimes
Yeah,
in these places.
it's kind of tough because, like, you kind of want to go to a bar where there's like people around because it's really fun to talk to random people, whether it's a local or even another foreigner who's also traveling, and not just American foreigner. Like we talk to like people from Sweden, a lot of like British lads who are on vacation there too. One of those guys, definitely like one of those like not a passport bro. I don't know. Maybe I didn't see him talk to a woman, but
Mm.
he's
That's
one of those
crazy.
guys who was like, yeah, I just went through Southeast Asia. And I'm like, okay, dude, like he like motorcycled through like Thailand. He had a shirt. And that's kind of cool to like, you did that
Yeah.
3-day ride through the mountains of Thailand or the jungle or
Oh,
whatever.
that is cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, you kind of want to do that, but it's kind of hard when you eat. The options are you either gotta find a big bar, or you gotta be the only people in the bar. So like, and also we're around each other a lot, so it is nice to be around other people. So the only time I got to kind of do that was when we did split off into our own thing. Where like me and Sirhan and Bristol actually hung out with Benton Down
Oh,
from
cool.
Instagram. Super
Yeah,
cool
Nice.
guy. He used to live in the Bay Area. Now he lives in Japan.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I
Ivy.
remember him as being a San Francisco guy.
That's right. Yeah. So he took us to a place in Kyoto, which was probably one. Spencer, you would love. I mean, Spencer, I know you love
I
your
want to
dive
go to
bars.
Japan so
Yeah.
bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
We went. There's a couple of great places that we went to, but this one that he took us to was in the hallway. Like the Golden Guy is outside, so there's that street, but like it's a similar thing, but it was stall bars inside. It looked like the back rooms or like some kind of decrepit thing, and by decrepit I
Liminal
mean that to
space.
be true because like there were cockroaches and shit
Mhm.
over
Oh
there.
no.
But we went to this place, and I can't remember the name. I'll put it in the blog and I'll put photos of it, but it's it's one of those places where bartender's one guy, he brewed his own like hojicha and shochu for like lemon sours. Also, I not a lot of cocktails. I got mainly lemon
Mm.
sours or Japanese beer. Lemon sours, real good, guys, or highballs, obviously. But yeah, one we had it was one guy there, and like the walls are full of people signing everything. It was really, really cool. But for a while it was just us, and the guy didn't speak that much English, but he was very happy to have us there. And these bars, a lot of bars have a service charge or a cover fee. It's usually between 300 yen to 500 yen, or if it's a bit more touristy or fancier like a jazz bar, it's like more like 1,000 to 2,000 yen.
Mm-hmm.
But it comes with something, either your first drink or it comes with some kind of food. And he had curry meatball soup. Holy shit, man, that was
That
good.
sounds good.
But he also
Yeah.
had the most insane tonkatsu sando, and I need to like put this thing up to the camera because it was so good. It was so thick, man. I need to find it. It was like, and it was marinated, it was dripping, it was so good.
Drippin' Sando.
That's right. The
Oh man.
Yeah.
the half shot, what do you call it, the half shot, I guess, the like the cut of it
Mm-hmm.
looked so
The
good.
cross section.
The cross section, that's it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys can see this shit, but this is
Whoa, that looks
it
good.
was
There you go.
insane, man. It was so good. Yeah, like again, especially this is like your vibe. We gotta just see
Damn.
like one guy, like 5 stools and like graffiti or
Hell
like just
yeah,
like
that
sign stuff all
rocks.
over. I drew General Grievous up there,
Nice.
as
Nice.
I normally do.
Now
That
he
was cool.
exists in Japan forever.
Yeah, but then he took us to another place which was like 4 stories up, and it was by Osaka photographer Kai Fushio. Kai, fuck, I'm gonna get this right. Kai Fusayoshi, who is a photographer in Osaka for over 50 years. His place. This is a very Ethan place. Just strewn out everywhere were just prints of his photos, postcards, and photo books, just stacked everywhere. It's definitely a fire hazard because you could also smoke indoors.
Nice.
And it's just him, the photographer himself, just serving beer and wine. And he like, it was so cool to be there. I was like, you can look through all of his work. His work is amazing. I picked up like off the ground like a book that he had of just reading, people reading in Osaka. I thought that was such a
that's
cool
super
curation.
cool. Yeah.
And I was like, can I buy this? He was like, sure. And then and he signed it, and I'm like, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Going there, that was cool. But also, I mean, Kyoto I think had the more fun bars. I don't know, because Tokyo is
Yeah.
so big, but Kyoto had, I went to a place that had, it's called Good Morning Vibes or whatever.
Nice.
And it was very touristy. Obviously, a lot of foreigners were there, but the vinyl they were playing was so good. I gave so many thumbs up to like the DJ, and he's like, thank you very much. He was also dripped out like a sport coat, a linen sport coat, and like trousers. But they had some cocktails on tap, so a little bit cheaper, but that's probably the only place I had a proper cocktail. I had like an Earl Grey type of mixture, which is good because I needed the tea.
Mhm.
And then I also went to another another vinyl bar. that was a lot more like calmer. When I walked in there, he made sure to tell me like, "Hey, not a lot of talking here. You're supposed to enjoy." And I'm like, "Hey, I'm in the right place, brother."
Yes, that's
And
nice.
he
Yeah.
asked me where I'm from. I said, "Oh, I'm from LA." He's like, "Oh, I lived in Torrance for 6 years." So I'm like,
Oh, that's
there you go.
cool.
Yeah. So that was another favorite bar of mine. I also went to a jazz bar at the recommendation of my friend Christian, which is really, really great. I went
Nice.
on jam night, which is I think is really, really cool because it's just people filtering in and out. Like they just want to have a chance to play, which is
Mhm.
really, really cool. Like to see just like people having fun, seeing a multitude of musicians. And I wish, taking like street style pictures in Japan is tough because you're not supposed to like take people's photos too much, and
Yeah.
I did not know this until someone told me, but like you have to have your shutter on because it's supposed to like discourage like creepers and like obviously
Mhm.
like
Oh yeah,
ups.
yeah. It has to have
Yeah.
the shutter
Yeah, the
noise,
sound.
mandatory shutter noises. I have heard about this.
Yes, yeah, which is what I did, but like I didn't want to take too many like of those kinds of things, if it's not like in a public thing. But when I walked out of the jazz bar, I was there for like 3 hours or 2 hours. I bought like 3 drinks by myself, just enjoying the jazz. When I walked out on this is like from at like 9 o'clock. I saw like the line of musicians waiting their turn. I'm like, holy shit, this looks so fucking cool. It
Hmm.
reminds you of like those like in the '60s, right, in like New York, where like jazz musicians just waiting their turn to play.
Yeah.
And you don't really, I mean, yeah, you could wait outside of a venue in LA, but like there's not that, again, like because the bar is so small, like you literally cannot wait for your turn inside the bar. You have to wait outside. And like it was like the Bob Dylan movie when you see all the people waiting to play at the folk
Oh man,
place.
beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, and I also went. This is right. I went to a folk rock bar in Kyoto, or no, in Osaka, called. You can look it up. It's called Phoebe Folk Rock Bar, and
Mhm.
I think I told you about it, Spencer. But
Yeah,
like,
you sent it to me
it
because it
was
looks
super
great.
cool. It
Yeah.
looks so cool. So much like accoutrement of folk stuff all outside there. Um, we made last call. We got there at 1:30. Like, hey, can we have a drink? He's like, of course, come on in.
Of course.
I
Nice.
should have
Yeah.
bought the shirt. It was one of those things where I'm like, fuck, I should have bought the and the shirt
Yeah.
just said like, tell me about Phoebe Folk Rock Bar. And I'm like, that's awesome,
That is a
actually.
good shirt.
Yeah. I did
I
buy
like that the shirt is like you're asking other people to tell you about it.
exactly that's what's
Yeah.
so cool. I think it's a
Yeah.
Please tell
reference to
me.
like some album. I can't remember what it is. But it's like tell me about blank or something like that.
Mhm.
Or maybe it's a reference to some old 70s shirt. But I did buy a shirt from like the jazz bar, and I don't have it in front of me, but I think it has something where it's all like, I've been listening to jazz for 50 fucking years, baby, and I'm like, that's the best
That
shirt.
is really good.
Yeah, let me see if I could look it up here. Jazz
It's a beautiful
intro,
shirt.
Tokyo shirt. I can't find it. It's also not on Google Images because
No.
that's yeah. But anyway, yeah, that was a lot of fun. I bought a lot of stuff, guys. I feel like
Yeah.
I mean I obviously spent a lot on alcohol, but it's cheaper there, obviously. And I would say
Nice.
again, the clothing that I bought or whatever it is a lot is cheaper. Is more affordable, I guess. Like I said, I bought the secondhand pair of boots and the real the full price pair of boots. I brought a couple of merch T-shirts. I also went to Tower Records in Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was really
Did you
fun.
bring anything home?
I
Yeah.
did.
Oh yeah.
I
Let's
was
go over
Okay.
non-menswear
I was
purchases.
stupid. Yeah, I'm stupid for buying records.
Yeah, I
But
was
like,
gonna say, how did those travel? Like, I mean,
well,
like, how
so
easy was it?
I bought. I brought my hard case, carry on. So all of my souvenirs, including books, I put them in there because I didn't want to jostle too much. Because my mom thought of this hack: just buy one of those like huge nylon or like I don't know, polyester, whatever, like those like big duffel bags that are like zip
Mhm.
up tops or whatever. She's like, yeah, just fold that up, put it in your bag, and when you come back, put your laundry in that, check that in because you get at least one free check-in with international flights.
Mhm.
And at first, I was like, oh, I'm not gonna do that. Like, I don't think I'm gonna buy anything. I did do that because I bought so many
Yeah.
books. I bought 2 pairs of shoes,
Uh-huh.
So I was like, I gotta put all the important stuff in my carry-on, and then I check in the rest of it. So that's how I brought it back, and that's how I brought back the records. And it is cool. Like at Tower Records in Shibuya, like there's a lot of American stuff, but I made sure to try and buy like Japanese pressings.
Mhm.
Oh, that's cool.
And I didn't buy too much. I didn't spend because like I knew I was gonna buy a lot of money, or spend a lot of money. So I bought a Masayoshi Takanaka, which is the
Mhm.
famous city Japanese jazz guy, who was traveling in Japan, or sorry, in who was touring in Los Angeles a couple months ago, which is sad. But those tickets were sold out. But I got one of his records.
Oh, that's cool.
I got a jazz record that I haven't listened to yet, but it looked cool. The guy on the cover is a guy in a suit with glasses, and so it looks awesome. And I got John Williams conducting the Saito Kainen Orchestra, which is a Japanese
Whoa,
orchestra that
that's
I think
super
was
cool.
started by Seiji Ozawa-san, R.I.P. But yeah, I got that. I will say I've heard it before because I'm a John Williams head. He is old and conducting, so I feel like the tempo on these is a little too slow than normal because he is old and not conducting at the proper
Right.
speed. But it's John Williams, whatever. It's him doing it. But I got the Japanese pressing of it because it's in Japanese. I thought that was cool because I could have bought that. I could have went on Amazon and bought that shit, but I had to buy it when I was out there.
Yeah.
I also bought a Shibuya, a Tower Records Shibuya slip mat. So now I don't have just a plain slip mat. It has a cool like logo on there. So I bought those, and what was really funny is Tower Records has like 7 floors of stuff. Everyone, the K-pop, the J-pop levels were full of people. I think there was some K-pop event happening at that time. There's so many people in the folk rock section, so many American white men buying Japanese jazz and folk rock over there. And what's funny, so it was super popular. Also, Michael Jackson was outside dancing. He was all like
Michael Jackson.
He kept being
Nice.
like hee hee, and like pointing at random people,
Wow.
like take a picture with me. And I'm like, no, thank you. And I went all the way up to the classical part of it. Dead silent, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
Silent.
And they were like, everyone there was super nice. I was like, it was like me and one random old man looking at records, and I bought a Tower Classical T-shirt. I thought that was fun because I got to be pretentious and be like, I don't just buy regular records. I buy classical music. So I bought those. Not other menswear purchase. I was in Kyoto. And I really wanted the fan. My mom bought a fan the last time. I'm like, fuck, I really want a really, really good fan. And I bought a denim HBT fan. That was really, really cool.
Nice.
I want to bring it to Anime Expo because of practicality, but also I don't want to lose it. But also you should wear and use your stuff that you buy. So I did that. I also bought a cheaper fan at Muji, which I promptly lost on the plane. So
no.
$15 down the drain there, but it's okay. I didn't lose the main one. So I bought a fan. That was really, really cool. I heavily recommend buying some kind of fun artisanal fan there. I did find at another multi-brand artsy store a like selvage denim fan. So not the regular plain twill, not the HBT, but I feel like it was a little bit cheaper, and I got mine from like a fan artisanal store. So I feel like I'm good with my purchase.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
An artisanal fan.
Yeah, it was very expensive, or just more than like it's not a cheap fan, I should say. I went to the Japanese Modern Art Museum, the Japanese MoMA, and they had a Yumeji, I forgot, Takahashi Numeji? Takahisa Yumeji, who is an artist in Japan, obviously, in like the 30s, who did a lot of like his what they call like Nihonga illustrations of like daily life, like urban life. It looks almost has like a comic book graphic design element to it. It's definitely like a modern take on like obviously like the very illustrative woodblock prints, and he did a lot of like concerts, as in like he did like opera posters, and I thought that was really, really cool. And I just love the illustration so much, and I ended up buying like the book of the exhibit because I thought that was really, really cool. So I bought that while I was out there. I also went to the multi-story Kinokuniya in Shinjuku, and
Nice.
I didn't buy. Oh no, yes, I bought the. In true pretentious form, they had a small selection of like merch from his master's voice. I don't know if you guys know what that is. It's the little
RCA
dog.
Victor,
Exactly. It's an illustration, of for those of you who don't know, it's a little dog. It's a painting called His Master's Voice. It's a dog like looking quizzically at a phonograph. And RCA Victor and a lot of record companies since then have used that particular logo, and I'm like, damn, that's awesome. That's kind of a fun deep cut. So I bought like stickers and like
that's pretty funny.
A little keychain of that. I could have bought the dog himself, who was named Ripper, but or Kipper, I think, one of those names. But I did not buy the plushie because I had too many plushies attached to my fucking bag already. I went to Tokyo Disney Sea. It's also the 25th anniversary of Tokyo Disney Sea. So I bought there's like him in a top hat with like diamonds, but I bought him in a fucking navy blazer, so I got Mickey in a blazer for that one.
That's cool.
I also bought Gelatoni, my little favorite artsy cat.
Yeah, he's fun.
But I got some of that stuff. I got my mom a lot of stuff. But other than that, I at the Shinjuku Kinokuniya, I bought an Osaka photo book, which is funny because I bought the Kyoto photo book, but I got like a random Osaka photo book there. I also got a Japanese photography magazine, and there's a lot of camera magazines. There's a lot of like again
Mhm.
trade like like all like a Leica magazine about like just different Leicas and stuff like that. So I didn't buy that. I bought an actual photography journal. Can't read it obviously, but
Mhm.
I thought it would be fun to like get like a souvenir of like, oh, this is what Japan currently is doing in photography. You know what
That
I'm
is pretty
saying?
cool. Yeah.
I also bought a classical music magazine that I also can't read, but I'm like I wanted to get stuff I again that were special that was different this time
You
around.
could point your phone camera at it and translate it page
That
by
is
page.
that is
Yeah.
also that is very true. So I got those books. I'm looking around here. Obviously got the photo books that I got from the photographer Kai Fusioshi himself, but I also bought a lot of Popeye. I got the Popeye was having its 50th anniversary,
Whoa,
and
50
so
years of
I
Popeye.
got the 50th anniversary magazine that came with a free sticker, which is really really cool. I also bought a couple of back issues. I got one like with like girlfriend style and like the girlfriend feature issue, which I like not just because like seeing like the women's style in Japan is really cool, but also there's a lot of like dates, and I'm like that's kind of cool to kind of see what they recommend. Like go here for a date, you know. And I got one from this year because they had an issue this I guess it's February, obviously for Valentine's Day. I got the 2026 and the 2025 version because it's really cool to see the previous backlog editions. I also bought the band style issue, which is like a bunch of like
Nice.
punk bands and skater bands and stuff like that. Got that one as well, and also a Brutus magazine on listening rooms because apparently I'm a vinyl guy. I mean,
Hmm.
Nice.
I am a vinyl guy. There's plenty over. I went to Shibuya, man. I went to the Tower Records. Come on now.
You gotta go.
Yeah. What else did I buy? I think that's mainly it.
Yeah.
That's all again, that's a lot. I was expecting this. I went in thinking I was gonna buy just pair boots because I knew I wanted to try them on in person.
But then never.
But
It's like when you go into Target. You know,
that's right.
Japan is
Yeah,
like the world's Target.
that's right. Oh, so I was talking to some menswear guys.
Hmm.
Again at Beamish Plus, and one of them, Kitaro, he had been to he was recently in at Los Angeles. Kitano, sorry, I said Kitaro earlier. Kitano, and he was like, "Oh, Target's very nice," and I'm like, "Yeah." I told
Hmm.
him it's probably the closest you guys have to like a like Muji slash convenience store because like we don't have Muji here, and our convenience
Hmm.
stores suck in America. What's funny is that he was like, yeah, he's a In and Out is very good. I'm like, hell yeah, it is. And
It
he's
is.
like, I went to this place, Silver Lake, and I'm like, fuck yeah, you did, dude. That's awesome.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So apparently there's some menswear stuff. The other menswear guys took him around over there,
That's
which is
very
really
cool.
cool. Um, but yeah, I also hung out with the Kamakura guys, like I
Oh,
said.
nice.
That was a lot of fun. Both of them, it's cool to see how they progressed in their their careers. Where now one of them does like international like trunk shows, stuff like that, the
Hmm.
coordination with outside brands, and the other one, Kosuke, works in design. And it's because of them. Well, I don't know about just them specifically, but seeing vintage Ivy go from being alpha sized to being neck sized was because they were like, yeah, we got to do this. I'm like, fuck yeah, like you
That's
got to do
good.
that.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and obviously also like I know that when you bought it, Spencer, back in 2018 when we were in New York,
Hmm.
like they only had like a couple of options. You had like the
They
dark,
had the yeah. It was very limited, but
and it was all popovers, I think, right? Or at least one of them was
no,
a
no. They
popover.
had one popover. I think the
One
rest were
popover.
regular. Yeah.
Yeah, but now
Yeah.
it's not just popovers, and now they offer them in all of the regular fabrics, which
Oh,
is
that's
really good
super
too.
cool.
So
Yeah.
Sirhan and James bought like 6 shirts each at Kamakura Shirts.
I Yeah. That's nice. That's a good. That's a
And
good
then
buy.
when the staff asked me why I was doing it, because I said it's because I buy Brooks Brothers vintage,
Uh
so
huh.
I'm
Yeah.
already and they do the Japanese sizing is slim on those ones, but as Kotaro reminded me, they do have American versions, but they are only available online.
Wow.
Yes, Kotaro also was wearing their version of a USN chambray, which looked amazing. And I said, "Why doesn't your store offer this?" And he said, "It's because it's online only." And I said, "Is there a way I could get it before I leave?" And he said, "No." So, because there's no way that they could have shipped it that quickly,
Hmm.
and or at least for me to take advantage of the Japan price and the tax-free price as well. But it looked so. I wanted the chambray. I wanted the chambray also when I was there. I looked around. But Real McCoy's not in my size. Also, it's like $300 still American to get
Hmm.
that shit. Bryceland's had none in my size. They had one, but it was linen cotton blend, one of the variations. And I didn't want a blend, and so yeah. So no chambray shirts for me. I also was gonna
Hmm.
try and buy Moon Stars, but did not find stockists over there. I guess it's
Wow.
yeah, they're not as common over there, or maybe I just went to the wrong stores. But yeah, I want to buy the Moonstars because I want the shoes. Also, it's because when I went to Fushimi Inari, which is the big Torii Gate thing, and I'll finish
Hmm.
off with this episode with this story. Um, you can hike up Mount Inari, like or hike you trek up all the way. You pass by all those hundreds of gates to get to the top of the temple. We like I said, we had 2 days in Kyoto. The first day, we're like, oh, it's too late to go to Fushimi Inari. And I'm like, no, it's fine. Like, I know that you're not gonna hike all the way up, but they didn't want to go because like we were losing light or whatever, and so we didn't go. The next day we went, it was fucking pouring rain, but it was our last
No.
day in Kyoto, so we
Hmm.
had to do it. And that day, I just happened to be wearing an Aloha shirt, fatigues, and Wakua deck shoes. And when I got to Fushimi Inari, I was like, I didn't do it last time. I'm gonna do it this time. So I went to the top of the fucking mountain.
Nice.
That
Yeah.
it took me like 3 hours because it's raining and there's a lot of people too, and
Yeah.
so you're going slow. And my feet were drenched the entire
You
day.
got
It's
trench
yeah,
foot by the end. Yeah.
yeah. It's obviously deck shoes. They're not anti-water. They're anti-slip. So
Yeah.
it's like they're canvas shoes. So I ate
Hmm.
it. It was so drenched, but I got to the top. And here's the thing: it's not it's a spiritual journey because you're there to go to the temple. It's not a view. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
it's at the top of the mountain. There are some vistas that you can see as you look around, and they keep reminding you like, hey. You still got like 45 minutes to go, like there's a lot of signs to tell tourists, what it's like up there, and I
Yeah.
fucking did it because I didn't get to do it the last time because the last time I went to Japan, it's insane. I landed in like Haneda Airport. And then immediately took a train out to Kyoto, and then we went to Fushimi Inari. So like that day I went, I was so tired. I mean, I was
Hmm.
tired this time too, but for a different reason. But I was like, I want to do it, and it's kind of fun to do something not just cultural, but like something that's just not just entirely about shopping. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was really really nice. Like I'm glad I got to do it. It's very beautiful. All those gates, like they are, immaculate. And there are temples at each one. The temples are so beautiful. It's cool to see people making the offerings. There's a lot of Torii gates. With the you write, what you want, like happiness or good fortune or your name or your family name. Um, and that was really really fun, and really nice to go see that. And then of course walking down took half the time because it was also later in the day, so the rain was like a little bit less.
Hmm.
But yeah, that was really really cool. But again, my shoes were dead, and I was like, "Fuck, do I have to buy new shoes while I'm out here?" I could have bought the Sperry collabs, I could have done
Yeah.
those, but I decided not to, and I just like stuffed my shoes full of like paper towels and then like blow dried them, and they're fine so far. But if not,
Nice.
I will have to go to High Tide LA and buy the Moonstars there because that's the only place in LA that stocks them. And they are like, yeah, they're like double the price in Japan. They're like $70 in Japan, and in America they're like 150, or even
Hmm.
Yeah.
$200. Um, but yeah, that was probably one of the cooler parts of the trip, and probably one of the only parts that wasn't like just about like drinking and hanging out. But then again, I did go to the museum, so I did get my
Yeah.
culture. I did get my culture
Exactly.
in here.
You got your culture in.
Yeah, I will say one last note. I keep saying that, but like
Yeah.
I went to the Japanese Japan, the Tokyo Met. Sorry, the Tokyo Met, which is interesting because each gallery there is a separate price. You have to pay for each
Oh
gallery.
wow. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's I guess it over there it's more of like different exhibitions versus a permanent collection. I think there is a permanent collection. I just missed it,
Hmm.
or I didn't go to it because I went there literally hours before my flight because I wanted to go. And at the Tokyo Met, I didn't even go see that much Japanese art because they had an Andrew Wyeth exhibit, who is an American painter from the 40s who just painted like the same setting over and over again. He like hung out in like Connecticut or like the East Coast, and he like lived in this house with these old people and just painted like facets of this house. I think Spencer, you'd really love it.
I think I would. That sounds really cool.
Yeah, he Andrew Wyeth is really great. But the cool part is, again, I guess I'm there in like the middle of the day on like a weekday, and the only people there are old people. But there were so many. I thought that was really charming. Like,
Let's
you know,
hear it
to
for
see.
the olds.
Yeah, I mean, but like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I felt like they just like really like the art. I feel like when I go to LACMA, there's like tourists or whatever. Like, I don't feel like it's not the same
Yeah,
effect.
our old people are so uncultured, you know? That's the
Yeah.
problem with them.
And like the museum's like dead quiet. Everyone is, you know, taking turns looking at the plaques. But that was really cool. And I actually ended up buying a sticker and a keychain because a Japanese artist did like a, you know, his little caricature of Andrew Wyeth himself. So I bought that. And then before I left, I went to the Japanese to the maybe it's either Japan or maybe just Tokyo watercolor exhibition. So it's like regular people doing watercolors.
That's cool.
And I got to see that, and they
Cool.
were really good. I mean, it's so good, you know. But that was a lot of fun, and I got to, you know, that was in Ueno Park, and I, you know, had a little sandwich in the park before I went to the airport.
Wow.
And
Sandwich in the
that's-
park.
That's right. That was really great. I guess I'll have to go back in order to get Moonstars now. You know.
Exactly. That's the only way to get them.
Yeah. But everyone should go to Japan. Japan is really great. If people want to know more about the specific stores I went to, you can see the list on the blog post as well as all of the pictures. I initially was going to do 2 separate blog posts about the menswear and the everyday travels, but I was like, fuck it. It's basically a book now because it's so long.
Supersized blog post for a
That's-
supersized trip.
Yes, 12 days, and I did literally so much stuff in there. Again, shout out to Kitano, shout out to Kosuke, shout out to Kotaro, shout out to Benton, shout out to Saito. I forgot what fuck. Oh god, I feel like it's. Oh my god, I forgot.
It's okay.
I also think his Instagram is not his actual name. Shout out to Shota at Bryceland's, who is a big Star Wars fan. We bonded over that. Fun to see a guy fun to talk about Kenner action figures in Bryceland's. Like,
that
really
is
funny.
super cool.
Yeah. But shout out to everyone who I talked to. Everyone was super friendly, super engaging. Showed me around.
And super engaged.
That's right. Japan is really great. I can't wait to go back. I mean, yeah, a yearly trip sounds awesome. Obviously, I feel like it's more interesting to go there than it is to New York. But whatever, you know. Also, I don't buy any, like when I go to New York, I don't buy anything. But then when I went to Japan, I bought literally everything.
You bought
so.
everything.
I know. So, yeah, I did have a Wagyu burger while I was there. I had so much curry. I had sushi. I had McDonald's, I guess. I was, yeah, it was the only thing that was open.
Okay, McDonald's menu. What did they have?
I had like I had a potato, like they had a
Full
World
of
Cup
burger.
Yeah, they had like a World Cup thing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, lots of people asking if I was watching the World Cup. I said that no, I don't watch sports. You know, but yeah, lots of great stuff. You guys got to go to Japan, man.
I'm going right now. I'm running
Spencer,
over. I'm at least gonna go get some Japanese food
right
very soon.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
you're gonna eat Oslo denim.
I'm gonna eat Oslo denim. That's right.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for listening to this episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope, you know, it's a very long podcast episode, and I hope you enjoy the blog as well. You can follow the podcast at Style and Direction on Instagram. You can follow the blog at a little bit of rest.com. But you can also ask me questions if you want directly. If there's anything I forgot, you can either DM me, which I don't check them that often. Because I'm private now. Or again, you can ask directly at our Style and Direction Discord, which you'll have access to if you pay $5 a month and go to patreon.com/Style and Direction. Again, $5 a month gets you access to our Discord and our plethora of bonus episodes, which includes Heat, which just came out, which is Wonka, which I accidentally released by accident too early. Then I promptly deleted like a couple hours later. So I'm sorry if you have to hear that twice. But yeah, Wonka. We talk about the Phoenician scheme. I'm also going to a Wes Anderson concert soon, so that's kind of fun. But yeah, so if you guys like all that, $5 a month. 10 you don't get anything extra other than MJ thanking you personally. MJ, who are we thanking?
We are thanking our sidecast fanatics Shane Curry, Philip Krigard, Henrik Wilberg, and Talbot.
We appreciate and love you guys so much. Also, side note, I don't know if we might have written it by now, but Nico Cobalt, Nico Lazaro, Nico Cobalt, or the guy behind the Bengal stripe, was also in Japan. We overlapped, but he arrived when I left, and he was too tired. So,
Wow.
obviously, because I was also dead tired from traveling for 10 plus hours.
Uh-huh.
But he probably has a way better write up of whatever he did, and I saw his stories, and he's doing a lot of great menswear. So don't read my blog, read his actually. So that's cool. Mine's just about getting drunk and hanging out with Jimmy. So that's all that is. So anyway, thanks for listening. We'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.